Yeah, there you are. Okay. Thank you, thank you. Off pala yung mic, no? Anyway, ayan. Welcome to our live streaming session program. This is Alan Burgos from #WalkWithLan. To all my students, no, please do click the form that you can find dun sa description box. Okay, that will serve as your attendance. That is a proof that you attended this particular event. Okay, so we will be starting at around 7:45. Okay, yeah, Dr. Rolly, our speaker will be available at 7:45. So we will be answering the question, how can we protect our data privacy or our privacy? No? Okay, in the digital world. Do you know that that privacy is a fundamental right? It is guaranteed by the Constitution. Um, Data Privacy Act of 2012 was legislated um, because of this because of this principle, because it is in the Constitution that it is guaranteed for our privacy right. That's why in sa ibang organizations, ibang books, ibang uh, organizations, books, okay, these are considered a basic right of Filipinos. Okay, so later on we will know specifically what is data privacy. Okay, how do we why do we need to protect it? What are those things that we can lose if our personal identifiable information or personal health information would be breached. Okay? Ayun. Alright. So let me read some comments. Yeah. Ayan po, okay na sir. Thank you, thank you. To all my students, please do click the link, okay, on the description box. Alright? And then please fill out that form accordingly. That will serve as a proof that you attended the event for today. No? Thank you very much for the 73 individuals who like this particular event. Okay? Sige. God's stormy evening. Yes. I hope and I pray that you are okay. And I do appreciate talaga na in spite of the rain, in spite of the weather, you are still here to attend this event, no? Because you do consider learning as fun, and you want to learn about data privacy. Okay. All right. And Eileen, good evening. Good evening, sir. Yes, thank you very much, Eileen. Most likely, majority of the attendees today are my students from the four institutions, no, that I belong to. No? Mainly, Rizal University, Pamantasan ng Santa Pasig, GK College, and AMA CLC. Okay, sige. Thank you very much. If we will be talking about data privacy, no? For the entire session. No? Most likely, we will be finishing up to 9:30. No? Okay. Hopefully, you can stay until 9:30 because you can learn a lot, no? from this event. Actually, I'm quite excited, no? About this event. No? This is the second time that I have a live streaming session program such as this, such a special as this. And our guest for tonight is really a special person. Okay, when I say special, he is considered an expert, no, in security and in data privacy also. No? So you will know later on what are those things that what are his credentials. Okay, siguro mga 7 now 7:40. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, good evening, guys. Good evening. Thank you very much. Yan. To my students, please do fill out the form that you can find do sa description. Please fill out the informations there, and then that will serve as a proof that you attended this event. No? Sige. Okay, to all my students lang ha. Okay, for the 4 institutions that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, so data privacy is quite important, guys. No? This was passed 2012. We call this as Data Privacy Act of 2012. It was legislated by the Congress and was signed by and passed as a law, and it was signed by the president then. But the IRR was drafted, or it was made, 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so yon. Thank you very much. And yeah, this was passed, as what I mentioned a while ago. This was passed and legislated because of the guarantee that the Constitution provided for us. But it's a I just want to have a disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm teaching IT for the last 20 years. No? Okay, so it is guaranteed in the Constitution for our privacy. No? It's in Article 3, Section 3. No? That is the Bill of Rights. No? So if you would like to search on that, the Constitution, not the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, Chapter 3, Article 3 rather, Article 3, Section 3 of our Constitution. No? So we call that as the Bill of Rights. Okay, so that was that's the reason why this Data Privacy Act of 2012 was legislated and approved by the president. Okay, so and it's already 7:37. Okay, so if you have any questions, clarification, if you have any questions, please do write your questions there. Okay, on the chat box. Please use the chat box, and please let's cheer our institutions. No? Okay, if you are from GK College, PLP, or GRU, or CLC, please do type there on the chat box. No, I'm from this institution. Okay, so let us be proud of our institutions, or let us be proud of our colleges and universities. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this nowadays, guys, diba? We are using social media, no? According to Hootsuite, at least we are using the social media. We are our presence in the social media is almost 5 hours. It's almost 5 hours a day, no? Sometimes after when we wake up, the first thing or the first device that we check is our phone. We check our FB or our social media platforms, okay? Because of our fear, no? Maybe we miss something, okay, on our social media platform, okay? All right then. All right, we have 20. No? We have 20 individuals who are here, who are watching. Thank you very much. In spite of the bad weather, I hope and pray that you are okay, and please do pray also, no, with our brothers and sisters, and sa Bicol area. Okay, sige. It's already 19:39. Yan. Yan. Thank you very much. Tsaka caps lock po. No? They're offering training, not only training, but certification as well, no, for the data privacy officer or DPO. No? So maybe later on, that could be discussed also by Dr. Ronnie Lansigan. No? So, okay, so this is a question and answer format. No? Meaning to say, I will be asking questions. Okay, dun sa ating speaker or guest for tonight. And then later on at the latter portion of our event or of our program, we will be having a fast talk, no? Okay, para bang boy abunda. No? Anyway, fast talk, I'll be mentioning terms and maybe organizations or persons, okay? And then let us see kung anong reaction ni Dr. Lansigan, our guest speaker for tonight. No? Sige, wait lang. Okay, thank you very much. Jerry Cosigno from Jose Rizal University. Thank you. Yeah, from PLP also. No? I think we have one from ACLC. No? Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm quite excited, no? To be frank and honest with you. I'm very quite excited. That's why I'm standing, okay, so that I can feel the excitement. No? I can feel the excitement. No? So, okay, so please, if you are excited, please do have a thumbs up, no, or thumbs up, okay, on the chat box or whatever you have there as an emoji, no, for that thing. Sige. Okay, so we have 19, no? Sir, pa-shout out po. Good evening, sir. Okay, Jerry Bammers. Please, to all my students from the four institutions that I mentioned, if you just came, please do click the link, no? Do sa form. It's a form. It's an attendance form. Okay. Do not worry. I will not be sharing that to others. Okay. That will be a purpose of ano lang naman yan, for monitoring purposes. Okay. Yan. That is a proof that you attended this event. Okay. Yan. Ayan. So later on, you would expect that maybe I would ask, no, terms such as personal identifiable information, or PHI also, personal hospital information or health information. Okay, there are laws actually, no, there are laws and there are standards for this one, no. One law, no, maybe, but it's not in the Philippines, but one law is that health professionals and others are following also is the HIPAA Act from the US. Okay, and we are very lucky. Actually, in data privacy, as a nation, we are young because this was passed 2012. Okay, this was passed by the Congress last 2012. The IRR, or the Implementing Rules and Regulations, was drafted or was implemented 2017 during the Duterte administration. Okay, so National Privacy Commission also, wherein our guest speaker is a former officer, okay, of National Privacy Commission. Okay, National Privacy Commission was because of that law, no? NPC is here because of that law, the National the Data Privacy Act of 2012. No? Yon. I hope it's clear, no? Yung evolution ng data privacy. Why do we have a data privacy or Data Privacy Act? Because it is guaranteed in the Constitution, and even though it's guaranteed in the Constitution, there should be an enabling law. No? So that law is the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Actually, there are many rin naman, no? Technology laws. Okay, we have the e-commerce law. We have the 10175 or the anti-cybercrime law. We have here Data Privacy Act of 2012. Okay, so then I'm quite excited. No, please type there if you are excited. Okay, please type there on the chat box if you are excited. Okay, yeah. Okay, sige, actually, uh, let me introduce to you our next guest speaker. Our next guest speaker. Our guest for today, no? As what I've mentioned, is quite special because he is our own vice president for the academic affairs at GK College. No? I've known him for the longest time. Um, okay, so he was a former dean of National University. But let me read, no? Because if I will be reading all his credentials, maybe we are not done for, maybe we will finish tomorrow na. Okay? So, yan. Alright, sige, let me read his credentials. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, so our guest for today uh, is is a data privacy advocate. Yeah? So when we say advocate, he's quite passionate. He's quite passionate of this particular field. Right? And most sought after data protection speaker and resource professional. No? Actually, if you will type his name dun sa Google, no? Kay Mr. Google, okay, you can really find, no, his expertise dun sa data privacy. Okay, he was the former chief of compliance, okay, and monitoring division of the National Privacy Commission, okay, from 2016 to 2018. So for 2 years, he was the chief compliance officer, okay, and monitoring. So he was monitoring the companies who is not implementing the uh, the Data Privacy Act, no, and he was into training also, okay. So after his academe and government service, he pursued his private practice as a data privacy consultant, speaker, and educator from 2018 to present. No? So he's actually he's really he's an expert, no, in terms of data privacy and security. Okay, yan. Yan. And he earned his Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management from the National University, wherein he was a former dean, as what I mentioned. He also earned units in Juris Doctor, Doctor of Laws from the Universidad de Manila, okay, as well as units in Doctor of Information Technology from the La Salle University. Okay, so he has units in Juris Doctor and in the IT. He earned a Master's of Computer Science from the LSU and also finished 3 bachelor degrees. Wow! Sobrang masipag mag-aral tong idol natin. Okay, BS Computer Science, Bachelor in Business Management, graduated cum laude at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Okay, with a bachelor's degree in Computer Data Processing Management. Okay, so he has many certifications. No? He has many certifications. Okay, such as NPC, National Privacy, DPO or Data Privacy Officer. Okay, ACE level 1 and 2, certified as Data Protection Officer. So he didn't attend that only, but he is also certified and he is qualified to train people. No, he is also a certified ethical hacker or CEH. No, from the EC Council. This particular organization is based in US. Okay, so yeah, he is also CHFI. What does it mean by CHFI? Certified Hacking Forensics Investigator, right? CompTIA also, Systems Certified Security Analyst. And I believe all these certifications, he got it from the GK College. No? All right. He also serves as a member of Advisory Council for the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group, no, or PNP ACG, and the Philippine National Police Information Technology Management Services. So he has connection in Philippine National Police. So before he joined the government service, he served as the dean of computer studies in National University, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he's the dean who introduced, um, the program of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with specialization in digital forensic. Okay, the first field of specialization in the Philippines and in the Southeast Asian region. All right. Now, he's not only expert in security, in data privacy, but he is also an educator, no? He's a member of he's an accreditor, no, from Tacocoa, okay, and member of our ARQUAT, and ayun, assessor also, right? Member and former member of PSITE, and a former president of PSITE National, uh, right? PSITE is an organization of um, information technology or computing educators here in the Philippines. Okay, yun. All right, and for me, the last time I talked to him, and then I asked this person, how could I introduce you? And then sabi niya, do not forget that I'm um, I'm a good father, no, to my children. Siguro that's the best thing that we can be able to introduce. Okay, so wait lang. All right. So without much further ado, wait lang. uh, ganun tayo ka-excited, no? For us to have this particular person. Actually, the name of our guest speaker for tonight, or guest, okay, is no other than Dr. Rolando Lansigan, no? Okay, so please type there. Okay, please type there. Okay, thank you, Dr. Lansigan, something like that. Okay, for a while. Ayan. Thank you. Papakyutin na natin si Dr. Lansigan. Alright, so without much further ado, guys, my students and ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome
Can you hear me?
Dr. Rolando Lansigan. Hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello, Doc. Kamusta? Hello. Hi, Doc.
I can hear you now.
Yes, thank you very much. Doc, first of all, I just want to thank you that you agreed on this guesting, no? Thank you very much. I know for a fact that you are quite busy, no? Ang dami mong racket, ang dami mong guestings, ang dami mong, pero thank you very much, no? Napaunlakan mo ang ating programa. For now, we have 27 participants. Mas marami pa sana to kung hindi tayo nag-signal number 3 here in Metro Manila. Pero anyway, Doc, bumati ka muna sa kanila.
Okay, magandang gabi sa lahat ng nakikinig, nanonood sa channel ni Sir Alan Burgos. And I know kung nasa man kayong parte ng Pilipinas or ng buong mundo, hope you are safe. And kung nasa Pilipinas kayo, sana hindi kayo apektado ng Bagyong Ulysses, and stay safe lang tayo parate, and keep safe everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Doc, Doc, ikwento mo naman sa amin para ma-inspire naman yung mga estudyante natin, estudyante ko, kasi majority of the participants here are my students. Ikwento mo naman sa kanila para ma-inspire sila. Paano ka ba napasok sa data privacy?
Well, I know, hindi ko naabutan yung pag-introduce mo sa akin kanina, di ba? Pero based on what I have submitted to you, I was part of the National Privacy Commission from 2016 to 2018 during its startup stage. Ang batas natin was 2012. Uh, Naging batas siya. 2016 yung commission, and 2016 also the same year, I was hired as the chief of the compliance and monitoring division of the National Privacy Commission. And paano ako napunta ron? Actually, I don't know if it's, kung matatawag natin siyang accident or by faith or talagang tinalaga ako ni Lord for that position. Kasi yun, I came from a university for more than 25, 30 years, and I retired in that position as the dean of the college. Then after that, I was looking for a job, nung nagpaplano na ako mag-retire, and I got into this searching via Google. Naganap ako ng mga word ng mga compliance, accreditation, something na ginagawa ko during my stay at the university. I was I'm still a part of the Chet Arquat, part of the Paco Coa team, and also a PQA assessor. So more or less yung line of work na gusto ko after my stint in that university, ang gusto ko parang nagmo-monitor. And ayun, luckily, nakita ko siya sa NET, yung National Privacy Commission, Chief of Compliance and Monitoring. So yun yung two words na naka-attract sa akin. And medyo swerte because when I submitted my resume dun sa former Deputy Privacy Commissioner ng National Privacy Commission, nagustuhan naman niya yung aking credentials. And modesty aside, medyo ang sabi pa nga is more than qualified for the position of a division chief. Pero yun na nga, since after kung 25-30 years sa academe, I'm planning to parang retire na. Parang kung meron akong work, fine. Pag wala akong work, fine pa rin. Hanap ako ng mga part-time job. As, yan, yung mga ganyan ginagawa ko. Pero yun na nga, well, alam niyo naman sa gobyerno, hindi ganun kalaki ang sweldo as compared to being a dean. Pero, kesa naman nasa bahay lang ako or wala akong fixed income that time, I grabbed the opportunity doon sa position na yun. And yun, the rest, sabi nga nila, the rest is history. Kasi nga, ang daming opportunities na nag-open sa akin. Not only within the academic circle, but as well as sa industry. Marami akong nakilala during my stint sa NPC. And siyempre, malaking utang na loob ko kay National Privacy Commission headed by Chairman Liboro and Deputy Privacy Commissioners Don Di Mapa and Deputy Privacy Commissioners ID Patdu, as well as yung dalawa ngayon na Deputy Privacy Commissioners, si John Henry Naga and si Deputy Privacy Commissioner Dino Aguirre. So malaki utang na loob ko sa NPC for this exposure sa data privacy in the Philippines. And well, simula noon, medyo maganda na yung tinahak nating landas in terms of my career, in terms of the data privacy compliance. So yun yung journey ko from academe to government to NPC. Yun.
Grabe, ang ganda-ganda ng Doc, ha? Okay. Anyway, Doc, I mentioned a while ago doon sa aking preliminaries, no? Sabi ko doon, this Data Privacy Act of 2012 was passed because it is guaranteed in our Constitution, no? Article 3, Section 3, Bill of Rights, it is guaranteed there of our privacy. That's why privacy is considered as a fundamental right. Tama, Doc, di ba?
Correct.
Okay. But for you, why does privacy matter? Bakit nga ba importante ang privacy or confidentiality ng isang tao?
Okay, that is a very broad question of why does privacy matter. Number one, hindi lahat ng tao na-appreciate yung privacy or data privacy. Yung iba, baliwala sa kanila yung data privacy primarily because sasabihin nila, wala namang mawawala sa akin, okay lang kung alam mo yung data ko, etc., etc. Kaya lang, since 2016, nung na-form na yung commission, there was a paradigm shift in terms of the individual treatment pagdating sa data nila. Kasi nga, ang nakikita ng mga tao ngayon 2020 or even siguro 2018 or 2019, na the more you know about me, the more you can control of my behavior. Let's say, for example, alam ko, let's say, ikaw si Alan Burgos sa pagkakaalam ko, pero kung walang data privacy about you, maaring alam ko yung birthday mo, yung mga password mo, yung email account mo, even your personal life or yung love life mo, pwede kitang makontrol. Kaya, importante ang data privacy, not only nowadays, but also even before the Data Privacy Act was enacted. Kaya nga, nagkaroon tayo ng batas para to protect the fundamental human rights to privacy of all the Filipino citizens. Ngayon na lang naman nauso yung hacking, data breach. I know we discuss din natin yan. Pero importante ang data privacy. Kung wala tayong privacy, everything about us will be known to everybody. Ang hirap po, alam mo lahat ng data ko, alam ko lahat yung data mo. Not only the privacy, but as well as yung mga tinatawag, I don't know kung madidiscuss natin about yung mga identity theft, etc., etc. So, importante yung data privacy, not only because it is a fundamental human right to privacy, para din yung basic human rights, no? Para yung mga karapatan tao, karapatan din nating pang privado, yung to protect our personal information. And dun maganda yung gobyerno natin because nagkaroon tayo ng batas para protektahan ito.
Yes. Kaya pala, Doc, nakikita ko talaga na every time you talk about data privacy and about security in general, okay, nakikita ko talaga on your eyes, na you're quite passionate, no, about this topic, no. That's the reason why I do really appreciate, no, na-appreciate talaga kita, Doc, with regards to this.
Thank you.
But what if, for example, our personal identifiable information or informations about us, okay? Ano naman ngayon kung malaman ng community, ano naman ngayon kung malaman ng isang organization, ano ba yung na-violate doon? Ano ba yung pwedeng mangyari doon sa taong yun, no? Maybe you could be able to discuss ano yung mga crimes na pwedeng gawin doon sa taong yun.
Okay, not only particular crime, pati yung inconvenience sa'yo. I'll just make examples between the two of us. Kung alam ko, let's say, for example, yung email address mo or even your password. Number one, malalaman ko yung mga personal communications mo. Diyan pumapasok na yung sinabi ko kanina about identity theft. And also, kung alam ko din naman yung ibang personal information mo, I can use that, no, for every transaction na pwede, not only online, even offline, no? Nag-apply ako, for example, for a loan, ginamit ko yung pangalan ng Alan Burgos, alam ko yung birthday mo, alam ko yung other personal information mo na ilalagay ko doon sa pag-fill up ko ng data. Now, definitely, I can access all the personal information about you. Parang mawawalan ka na ng identity once na nagawa ko yun sa'yo. Kaya nga, tayo, not only you, nakausap ko ngayon, as well as yung mga nakikinig sa atin at nanonood ngayon, dapat we make ourselves private, no? All our personal information, not even our telephone number, yung ating mga tinatawag na mga employee number, driver's license number, and all these numbers or all this personal data na alam. Kaya kung makikita ninyo, pag may nagpo-post sa online ng mga personal data like the ID, the PRC license, ngayon naka-blur na sila. Or talagang totally nire-redact na nila yung personal data kasi nga mahirap kasi nagagamit yan for any cyber criminal activities. So napakahirap talaga sa panahon ngayon kung ma-expose ang data mo.
Yes. So Doc, it means to say na successful yung campaign ng National Privacy Commission and those people who are considered data privacy advocates like you, di ba? So congratulations for that, Doc. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Doc, in the past, di ba, yun nga, display natin yung mga passport natin. We are very proud that we got our passport. And then, pinipicture na natin yung kotse natin with the plate number there. Okay? Right now, Doc, at this point in time, paano mo ba nakikita yung data privacy maturity ng Filipinos nowadays?
Okay, personal observation ko to, ang data privacy maturity, dalawang bagay yan. Isa sa individual, isa sa mga organization. Sa individual, kung sasabihin natin yung data privacy maturity, kung ako tatanungin na baka below 50 pa lang tayo sa buong Pilipinas eh. Why? Because marami pa rin ako nakikita sa internet, sa Facebook account, Twitter account, Instagram account, and all other these other social media accounts na talagang they really expose all the personal information. Now, in terms of maturity naman sa mga organizations, meron tayong tinatawag na compliant and non-compliant organization. So, yung mga organizations na yun, these are the organizations na hindi talaga sumusunod sa tinatawag na 5 pillars of compliance. Sila yung tinatawag na non-compliant organizations. Pero, marami pa rin sa Pilipinas na tinatawag na paper compliant na wherein yan, compliant sila, papel lang sila. They have their data protection officers and the like. Pero ang tinatawag na full compliant or yung compliant na organizations, ito yung tinatawag na the maturity level is very high. That means that the culture of privacy is evident within the organization from top to bottom. Hindi lang yung presidente, vice president, assistant vice president, even the rank and file, or let's say, for example, yung mga janitors, yung mga job orders, alam nila yung data privacy. So, konti pa lang sa Pilipinas yung mga nakakaalam about the data privacy. Kaya nga yung culture, yung maturity level, kung susumahin ko talaga, ang dami pa rin. And from time to time, nagkakaroon tayo ng data breaches. Kasi nga, yung maturity level ng mga organizations as well as the individual, hindi pa ganun ka-mature or hindi pa nila alam on how to protect this personal data. So, hindi sila aware. Marami pa rin tao ngayon na hindi aware na meron tayong batas at marami pa rin tao na hindi nakakaalam that pag sinabing batas natin, unlike the other laws in the Philippines, this Data Privacy Act constitutes a criminal liability. So may corresponding siyang imprisonment kapag na-violate mo yung Data Privacy Act as well as fines. No? Mamaya, hindi ko alam kung madidiscuss din natin yung mga criminal punishments na yan.
Doc, natin, i-mention natin yan later on, di ba? Thank you very much. Doc, you mentioned the words, no? Data privacy officer, right? Nandun sa batas yun, Doc, di ba? Yung DPO or data privacy officer. Tama ba, Doc?
Correct.
Yes. All right. In order for a company to be compliant, no? Dun sa standard, dun sa law mismo, okay, the first thing that they need to do is to appoint a data privacy officer for that company. Tama ba, Doc?
Correct.
Okay. Pero itong DPO na ito, hindi siya, hindi lang ito ang role. Tama ba na hindi lang ito ang role ng taong i-appoint niya? So pwedeng ang DPO ay vice president for the IT, or something like that, or a systems ad. Ano bang characteristics ng DPO, Doc, para maintindihan naman ng ating mga viewers?
Okay, in terms of the requirement or yung compliance ng batas, ang dinidiscuss natin dito or yung sinasagot ko sa mga questions mo, these are legal requirements under RA 10173, otherwise known as the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Kasi for non-lawyers like us, siyempre, iba yung approach natin when it comes to the laws, no, passed in the Philippines. Ang sinasabi ko naman, since we are non-lawyers, in-interpret natin in a layman's term, ano ba yung requirement ng batas? Now, number one question mo is about actually, I would like to correct you on that. That's not a data privacy officer. That is a data protection officer.
Sorry. Data protection.
Okay. Now, sino ba yung data protection officer na sinasabi ng batas natin? That is included under NPC Circular, I think, 16-01, at a minimum to appoint a data protection officer. Ngayon yung question mo, sino ba siya talaga? Siya ba yung systems administrator? Siya ba yung database administrator? Siya ba yung legal counsel? Siya ba yung legal head? O siya ba yung vice president? So on and so forth. Now, to be very specific about this position does not require any interim or other positions, other designation within an organization. Ang sinasabi sa batas natin is that the data protection officer must be full-time and organic to the organization. That is the very basic requirement to be a data protection officer. Hindi ka po pwedeng consultant, hindi ka po pwedeng part-timer, hindi ka po pwedeng casual employee. Number one, dapat you should be full-time. Second is that a data protection officer must have a minimum contract of 2 years. So, 2 taon yung kailangan natin na kontrata ng isang data protection officer. Now, ang tanong, sino ba yung the best position? Now, may mga organizations talaga na wala silang full-time, but they have designated data protection officer concurrent to their position. Now, may mga organizations talaga na nag-a-appoint ng, sabihin na natin kung sino-sino lang within an organization to be a data protection officer. Now, I'm not directly saying that it is bawal or prohibited, pero ang sinasabi sa batas is that there should be no conflict of interest when it comes to the DPO position. Ano ibig sabihin ko ng conflict of interest? Isa na dito yung mga sinabi mong position, like the MIS, IT head, or even the HR head or HR manager. Kasi conflict of interest lies not only with their position but as well as conflict of interest because yung mga positions na yon are also critical within the organization. Meron silang mga hawak na data. Yung registrar ng isang organization cannot be a data protection officer as well as the HR head or HR manager. Now, likewise with the InfoSec, IT head, MIS head, hindi rin po pwede. Because nga, yung information dumadaan sa kanila, no? In case of a data breach happens, pwedeng ma-classify siya as a conflict of interest. Now, if you have other positions also within an organization, like you are the dean of the college, pwede ka ba maging DPO? Hindi rin. Kasi parehong full-time yung pinag-uusapan natin ditong trabaho. Siguro, kung ako tatanungin, direct answer, sino ba within an organization? A vice president level could be, no, a potential data protection officer. Kasi nung umaattend ako sa mga international conferences on data privacy, yan lagi yung mga tanong. Actually, yung tanong nga is na-trim down into 2, kung sino ba talaga ang dapat na maging data protection officer, IT ba or legal? Sabi nila, IT kasi we're talking about data security measures, protection of information, and maraming pinag-uusapan ng mga IT-related pagdating doon sa batas natin. Sabi naman ng iba, dapat daw ay lawyer or legal counsel ng isang organization. Kasi nga, this is a law, gano'n. So, marami mga issues and concerns. Pero sa totoo lang, a data protection officer doesn't have to be an IT or a legal person within an organization. Ang majority of the countries, no, na mayroong data protection officer, sinasabi nila is that a data protection officer must be somebody, no, who occupies a high position in an organization and must be directly reporting to the highest level of the management, which is the president or the CEO. So yun, kasi ang hirap kung, let's say, for example, yung DPO, data protection officer, ay director level or kaya manager level or this level or even, minsan nga, nung nasa NTC pa ako, may mga nagre-register na database administrator, conflict of interest kagad yun. Minsan yung isa, one government agency, casual employee yung ginawa nilang DPO kasi nga nagmamadali silang mag-appoint ng data protection officer. Hindi rin kasi mahihirapan siya ma-implement, no? Now, in the Philippines, successful organizations, successful implementation nila when it comes to data privacy compliance, number one, kasi mataas yung position ng DPO. Like in the government, alam niyo yung mga positions sa government, may mga secretary level, USEC, and ASEC. So, kung nasusundan lang natin yung mga organizations, these government agencies na successful implementation nila on the data privacy and compliance, ang mga nag-occupy ng DPO position, designation, yung mga USEC and ASEC, or even some commissioners, like for example, sa BIR, one of the commissioners is the data protection officer, in the DICT, and in, let's say, DepEd, yung mga USEC and ASEC. No? So, ganun yung level dapat ng data protection officer. Now, wala namang directly sinasabi yung ating National Privacy Circular when it comes to the level, pero may hirapan talagang ma-perform ng data protection officer kung mababa yung position. Now, since pareho naman tayong connected sa academe right now, yung merong one university in Metro Manila, nag-appoint sila ng data protection officer na faculty members. Ayun, after a while, give up niya yung position niya kasi talagang nahirapan siyang implement yun kasi may department head, may dean, may associate dean. Ang taas nung pupuntahan niya bago magpa-approve sa presidente. Pero kung mataas yung position mo and you are directly reporting to the highest level of management, yun, mas magaling, mas maganda yung implementation ng Data Privacy Act within an organization. Yun.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. With regards to that, Doc, di ba? Yes, ang DPO or Data Protection Officer, ay ina-appoint siya ng company, di ba? And as you have said, dapat medyo senior level yung position niya para naman magkaroon ng clout, no? Or magkaroon ng executive support, no? Dun sa highest position, which is the president or the CEO. Pero ang question ko, Doc, kailangan bang maging independent? Dapat, di ba, dapat independent si DPO? Parang in comparison sa mga company ombudsman or company audit, wherein they have a separate office. They are independent, and the reason why they are independent because maybe they could investigate, no, the company, or they could tell, oh, mali yung ginagawa mo. Ganon din ba si DPO? Yung ganon ba yung concept niya based on that on this law, Doc?
Okay, yung tama ka, no? One characteristic or one personality of a data protection officer is that a DPO should be independent and autonomous, no? Ibig sabihin, yung decision niya when it comes to the data protection policies, data protection implementation, should not be influenced by any other people within an organization. Hindi po pwedeng, let's say, sabihin ng ibang tao, ay, wag mo implement yan kasi hindi natin kaya yan, no? So, dapat independent-minded ang data protection officer, and he should have autonomy in the implementation of his program pagdating doon sa data privacy and protection. Now, nandiyan din yung sinatawag na confidentiality of the information na makokolekta niya or na malalaman niya within an organization. So, in totality, yung data protection officer should not be influenced, no, by any other people or any other unit or office within an organization. Hindi po pwede talaga yung a DPO dinidiktahan lang siya or the data protection officer nandyan lang siya para lang, let's say, for example, masabi yung dapat niyang gawin in the performance of his duty or function. No? Nasabi ko na kanina yung conflict of interest. The data protection officer should have independence and autonomy and confidentiality. And most importantly, yung data protection officer, yung weight of opinion niya. No? Sinasabi kasi ng batas natin that the weight and opinion of a DPO must be given due weight. Yun ang sinasabi sa batas natin. In case of disagreement, and should the PIC or your organization choose not to follow the advice of a data protection officer, it is recommended as a good practice that to document the reasons thereof. So yung mga ganong function niya. Yun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doc. Doc, para ano lang natin, di ba yung position ng DPO, no? Dapat siguro yung mga estudyante natin this time around, when they do graduate, magkakaroon na ng imagination. I want this position, no? So this position, maybe senior level, so they will be working there. They will work for them to reach this position. Okay, but please tell our audience, Doc, magkano ba ang average salary ng isang DPO Philippine setting?
Okay, the average salary of data protection officer, ito, sa pagkakaalam ko lang, although there's no exact data that will show or will prove na ito yung talagang sinesweldo nila, what I know, no, from large organizations or multinationals, nag-average siya ng 200,000 a month. Okay? Wow. Malaki siya talaga for multinationals. Ngayon, meron naman ako nakikitang mga clinic no? Mga clinics lang na mga doctors, na mga dentists. Meron mga DPO dyan or maliliit na hospitals, nagre-range siya from around 80 to 100,000. So, ang gusto kong sabihin is that the salary of the data protection officer really depends on the size of the organization. Pero what's good about it is, tinanong mo na ako about the salary, maganda rin tong, what do you call this, career path, no, ng mga graduates natin to develop their practice on being a data protection officer. Kasi sabi nga nila that the data protection officer is the new C-level. O ito yung mga CIO ngayon, CIO level ng isang organization. Kasi when we talk about Chief Information Officer o kaya yung mga Chief Information Security Officer within to the cybersecurity or infosec or any organization, yes, these are also vice president or AVP level, no? So the same thing with the data privacy or the data protection officer. May kilala nga ako, fresh graduate siya ng law, tapos nag-practice siya ng data privacy, nag-training siya, and na-certify siya. So biro mo, kapapasa niya lang ng bar exam, tapos nagkaroon siya ng 1-year experience. Now, he is the Assistant Vice President for Risk Management for an organization which is a large bank in the Philippines. I will not mention the bank name, no? Tapos meron naman akong kilala na yung fresh graduate, IT graduate siya, or computer science graduate, nag-work lang siya for 1 year as a programmer. Then nagkaroon siya ng interest about learning, no? Kung ano yung trabaho ng data protection officer. Tapos, nung naging certified sa data protection officer siya, alam mo kung fresh graduate siya with 1 year experience lang, nagre-range na to 80 to 90,000 ang kanyang salary, no? So, ibig sabihin, ito yung, kung hindi, may mga articles na nasulat about this data protection officer, this is the hottest tech kept in town ngayon, no? Sa technology natin, kasi alam lang natin, sa mga IT, computer science graduates, ang alam lang nila is programmer, database, minsan yung encoder pa, o kaya sa hardware sila, customer support. Pero actually, this is one field na talagang pag-explore ng mga estudyante natin, ng mga graduates natin, not only IT and CS, as well as yung lawyers, as well as kahit other fields sila, basta pinag-aralan nila yung function ng data protection officer. This one is a very rewarding, no, job in the Philippines. Meron dito, I will not mention the name. Nag-take siya ng training ng data protection officer. Pumasa siya. Pagkapasa niya, naging DPO siya ng isang BPO, ng isang call center company. Now, after a year, alam niyo kung nasa na siya, nasa Europe na siya. Why nasa Europe? Kasi yung batas natin, ang maganda nga dito kasi sa batas natin, was it's 70% lifted from the GDPR. GDPR is the counterpart regulation pagdating sa data privacy in Europe. So since halos similar yung batas natin saka sa Europe, ang bilis niyang nag-transition, no, from a Philippine data protection officer to a European country data protection officer. So, ang ganda ng movement niya in terms of his career. Bata pa siya pero alam niya na yung pagiging data protection officer. Maganda, very lucrative. Kaya nga nung tinanong mo yung salary, miss kanina nga hesitant ako sagutin, pero I need to give figures kasi to entice the people watching right now. Kung I think yung tanong mo is very direct and I should answer you also very direct. Magkano talaga yung sinasahod? Pero sa totoo lang, di ba, sa Pilipinas, kapag fresh graduate ka, mas swerte na kung magkaroon ka ng salary ng around 30,000 or 25,000. Even faculty members, no? Kailangan mo mag-master, kailangan mo mag-doctoral para kumita ka ng mga 50,000. Pero pag data protection officer, actually hindi, no? Kailangan mo mag-aral and at the same time be certified para yung objective mo na magkaroon ng magandang trabaho ay makuha mo. So, yung getting the answer dun sa question mo about the salary, more or less, ganun yung salary ng mga data protection officer.
Okay, sige. Thank you very much, Doc. So to our audience, no, and to my students, no, when you do graduate from then from your institution, okay, maybe one options that you could have is for you to have this path, this DPO or data protection officer, or an officer, okay, that is an expert in data privacy. Okay, so Doc, you mentioned also about certification. Okay, yes, may mga certifications tayo, no? It's all about information security, ethical hacking. Okay, here in the Philippines, I know the answer, Doc, pero for the sake of our audience, here in the Philippines ba, do we have this certification na for DPO? And ilang buwan na ba to or ilang years na here in the Philippines? And ano bang process nito? And ano ba yung mga institutions na nagpro-provide ng certifications about DPO?
Okay. Yung title or yung knowledge about being a data protection officer, dalawang phase yan, dalawang phases yan. One is the training and the other one is the certification, no? Sa Pilipinas, saka sa ibang bansa, meron tayong mga training and certification program. Like, for example, if you go international, meron siya tinatawag na CIPM or Certified Information Privacy Manager, which is also based in Europe. Ang ano doon, ang focus niyan is the international implementation of data privacy. Kaya kung ako isang Pilipino and I would like to start my data protection officer's career, no? For the training sa Pilipinas marami. Pero right now I am directly affiliated with the Global Knowledge, and alam naman natin ng Global Knowledge, the first cybersecurity institution, training institution in the Philippines that offers security training. And recently nga lang, nag-venture na ang Global Knowledge into data protection officers training na meron sila natawag novice level and level 1 and level 2. Now, yung kinuwento ko kanina sa inyo na about success ng mga certified DPO, actually, nag-take sila ng training sa Global Knowledge, and after being certified and landed the job as a data protection officer, ayun, napunta na sila sa isang kumpanya, multinational company dito. Eventually, nag-transfer sila sa ibang bansa, no? Ang Global Knowledge, I think we started this 2018, no? Yung training. Tapos, just recently, dun sa isa pang organization which I am affiliated with PSITE, we also offer data protection training. But yung certification component naman ng PSITE ay kinukuha rin namin sa Global Knowledge. Well, of course, meron pa rin naman sa Pilipinas na iba pang training institutions like the PMAP and the TUV Rhineland, no? So, kung ang tanong mo kanina, if I remember yung question kanina, kailan ba nag-start yan, yung training? So, 2012 yung batas natin, 2016 yung National Privacy Commission, and yung mga training natin nagsimula noong 2018. In fact, Global Knowledge is also one of the first few institutions na nag-o-offer na rin ng DPO certification, training and certification sa Pilipinas. So, laging leader ang doon ng Global Knowledge kasi maganda yung foresight ng president ng Global Knowledge kasi alam niya kung paano i-tweak or alamin yung market demand, no? Yes. For technology related training. Yun.
Okay, sige. Thank you very much for that, Doc. Doc, let's go naman dun sa mga penalties. Kasi we mentioned the salary of a DPO and the good impact of this one sa company. Pero how about the penalties, Doc? What if nagkaroon ng data breaches, nagkaroon ng mga cases? Ano naman ang penalties ng DPO at saka nung company itself?
Okay. When it comes to penalties, ang tawag dyan sa legal term ay punishable act. Punishable act listed under the Data Privacy Act of 2012. First, tanggalin ko muna yung misconception ng mga tao na ang liable lagi ay isang organization. Okay? hindi lahat ng organization lang ang liable sa Pilipinas as well as individuals. Halimbawa, tayong dalawa,
Yes.
kahit magkaibigan tayo, tapos na-disclose mo yung personal data ko, pwede rin ako mag-file ng complaint against you. So in that case, ikaw din ay liable bilang isang individual. Pero sa
Okay.
Pilipinas, well, ang most popular natin na mga data breaches or violations under the Data Privacy Act ay yung mga company na in one way or the other, nagkakaroon sila ng punishable act or violation under the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So ano yung criminal liability under the law? First, yung batas kasi natin is the criminal liability. So pag sinabing criminal liability, yung violator, either an individual or an organization headed by the president muna, mamaya pag-usapan natin kung sino yung liable, ay pwede pong makulong at the same time magbayad ng fines in pesos, no? Yung mga punishable acts, there is a table under the DPA, halimbawa yung improper disposal, nagtapong ka ng papel that contains personal information at napulot ko ng iba na pwedeng magamit nila for unauthorized purpose o kaya identity theft, that will run for about 3 to 6 years imprisonment o kaya 500,000 to 1 million pesos. Kasi yung violation natin under the Data Privacy Act, magkakaiba yan, no? In terms of gravity, in terms of what is the punishable act, and in terms of ano ba yung na-violate? Personal information or sensitive personal information. Now, ang tanong mo kanina, if I will go back to your question, sino ba yung liable? Kung tayong dalawa ang nag-uusap, tapos tayong isa sa atin na nakapag-violate, so siyempre, kung ako yung na-violate na personal data ko under the DPA at na-disclose mo yan or ikaw yung nag-violate against me, ikaw yung sabihin na natin makukulo at magbabayad ng fines in pesos. Now, in terms of the organization, depende. Depende kung nag-implement ba sila yung tinatawag ko kanina na compliance at non-compliance. Now, there are landmark cases in the Philippines na ang hindi naman nakulong pa, kundi nahabla lang or the case was forwarded to the Department of Justice for proper execution of the case. It's yung organization president or the head, kasi at that time that the crime was committed, wala siyang in-appoint na data protection officer. So kung ako yung presidente ngayon, just a tip, kung may nakikinig ng mga presidente ngayon, no, para lang ma-enlighten kayo yung criminal liability ninyo, mag-appoint na po kayo ng data protection officer because that is written as part of the law that you should appoint, no, a compliance person in the person of a data protection officer to do the compliance for your organization pagdating sa Data Privacy Act. Now, assuming na si Presidente or si CEO ay nag-appoint na ng Data Protection Officer at the same time, no, hindi nag-perform si DPO, yun, may possibility na, I'm not directly saying na makukulong si DPO, pero gross negligence na yun on the part of the DPO. Now, let's say, for example, nag-appoint na si Presidente or CEO ng DPO, and the DPO, no, has under the mandate of a data protection officer, nagawa niya yung compliance, no? Yung tatawag na 5 pillars of compliance under the Data Privacy Act. Tapos yung mga empleyado naman down the line ang nakakos ng data breach kasi let's say ni-remind na sila ito na yung mga policies to protect this personal information, but at the same time nakakos pa rin, no? Kasi may marami tayong tinatawag na errors isa na dito yung mga human errors. Pwede naman yung empleyado, even the head of the unit or department, which is liable under the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Kaya nga importante talaga kung makita mo yung line of in this interview, dapat talaga yung culture of privacy, no, should be evident within an organization from top to bottom. Para at least yung gross negligence, hindi lang sa presidente or the CEO, hindi lang sa DPO or hindi lang sa vice president, pati doon, even the janitors, the wrapping file, the job orders, are liable under this law kung hindi nila nasunod what is written under the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So, to answer directly your question, sino liable? Lahat po tayo ay liable. So, depende na lang kung kanino nagkaroon ng gross negligence in the implementation of the DPA. Yun.
Yes. Kahit hindi yan sinasadya, Doc, di ba? Um, Tapos Doc, ano pala, no? You mentioned yung yung paper tinapon. Okay? Dapat hindi natin ginagawa 'yun in an organization kasi pag tinapon lang
Correct.
natin, hindi natin malalaman baka merong doon mga important information wherein the attackers could do dumpster diving, no? Pwede niyang kunin. Kaya nga dapat inaano 'yon, sinisred natin. Okay. Doc, may tanong lang ako sa iyo. You said a while ago na hindi lang nag-a-apply si Data Privacy Act sa mga juridical or sa mga companies, di ba? Nag-a-apply din to sa mga individuals, no? Individuals, like siguro mga estudyante, mga professors, the social media users, okay? What if a person felt na violate yung fundamental human right niya, okay, na that is guaranteed in the Constitution? Ano ang pwede niyang gawin, Doc?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Okay. Doc, kunwari na feel ng social media user na violate yung fundamental human right niya about data privacy. Ano ang pwede niyang gawin? Kanino siya pwedeng mag-report? Kanino siya anong first step niya, Doc?
Okay, the first step is to, number one, siyempre, i-collect, gather all the information na nag-cause kung may potential data privacy breach or violation. Then second, send an email to the National Privacy Commission. The email address is complaints@privacy.gov.ph. Pwede nyo directly doon. Now, don't worry about the kwento, the narration. The National Privacy Commission will help you throughout the process. Now, pagka medyo naman very creative naman yung magpa-file ng complaint na na-violate yung kanyang data privacy, meron namang website ang National Privacy Commission at www.privacy.gov.ph. Hanapin niyo lang doon yung how to file a complaint, no? Madali lang. It's very user friendly, and I think the system of the National Privacy Commission is very useful, no, pagdating dito kasi may mga items na pipilapan doon para at the same time madinig yung complaint mo, or eventually kung magiging kaso siya, magkakaroon ng mga series of hearings until such time na ma-proven guilty or not guilty yung inakusahan mo na nag-violate ng iyong data privacy.
Okay. Doc, si NPC ba nagpro-prosecute nito? Correct me if I'm wrong, or si NPC ba nagpro-prosecute, or ano bang role ni NPC regard, or tagatanggap lang siya ng complaint tapos siya mag-forward sa DOJ or kung kaninong office?
Okay, the National Privacy Commission functions as a quasi-judicial body. Pag sinabing quasi-judicial body, para siyang mini judiciary system or mini judiciary body that hear complaints, investigate, tapos at the same time, sa legal parlance, ang tawag doon ay meron silang tinatawag na adjudication process. Now, pag na-adjudicate na yun ng National Privacy Commission and the three commissioners has decided upon doon sa kaso na yun, it will be turned over or it will be forwarded to the Department of Justice for proper promulgation. Ibig sabihin ni NPC, nagkamali ka, okay, ipo-forward na namin sa Department of Justice, sila na ang bahala dito, no? So although nagre-recommend si NPC para doon for the case to proceed, pero hindi si NPC nagsasabing, nag-violate ka ng ganito, etc., etc. But, ito yung but doon. The National Privacy Commission can issue cease and desist order, no, to stop operation. Halimbawa, ikaw si Alan Burgos, ikaw may-ari ng isang restaurant, no? For example, restaurant yung company na pinag-uusapan natin and nag-violate ka ng Data Privacy Act, na-disclose mo yung aking data, etc., etc. Tapos, after certain hearings ng kaso mo, pwede kayang issuean ng natawag na CDO, cease and desist order, wherein ipapasara na yung data processing systems ng iyong organization. So, para di siyang literal na sinasabi, i-stop mo na rin yung operation. Kasi, how can your business proceed kung walang data processing system? Di ka naman pwede mag-issue ng resibo ng walang pangalan. Hindi ka naman po pwedeng papasok ng walang login and log out, no? Halos pareho din yun, no? Yeah, the National Privacy Commission can order, no, yung stop operation of your organization in terms of data processing. Kasi personal information lang naman ang sakop ng Data Privacy Act eh. So, yun ang isa sa mga bagay na dapat nating iwasan. And just recently, no, this 2020, I know you're familiar with the mobile lending app, no, na nagkaroon ng mga data breaches o data privacy violation, yung mga nangungutang ng pera sa mobile app, tapos pag hindi ka nakabayad ay magte-text na sa mga friends mo, sa phone book, tapos nun, mapapahiya ka, etc., etc. Nag-release na sila ng advisory, ng circular with regards to that, na hindi na po pwede yung ginagawa nila. And the processing of the personal information should be transparent to the borrower. At kapag katapos na yun, dapat hindi na papakialaman yung personal data na nandun sa mga phone book mo, na nandun sa mga mobile app mo. Kasi, siyempre, kung uutang ang tao para makautang ka ng pera sa isang mobile lending app, papayag ka na sa mga condition nila. Ngayon, sabi ni NPC is that hindi dapat gawing condition yun sa pagbibigay ng consent sa isang organization para lang makahiram ng pera, and eventually, hindi dapat gamitin yung pagpapahiya sa isang individual, sa isang tao, kung hindi makabayad ng kanyang pagkakautang. So, yun yung mga posibleng mangyari sa isang organization na minsan sinasabi nila walang ngipin daw ang batas ng data privacy, walang ngipin din ang National Privacy Commission. Actually, marami. Kaya lang, siyempre, minsan, kailangan talaga ipatupad kung ano yung nasa sa batas para yung proper order, no, of investigation as well as in proper handling of the case, no? Yun.
Alright. Doc, kanina, di ba, yung sabi mo, pag na-feel ng tao na violate yung karapatan niya, no, about data privacy, pwede naman siyang magreklamo or mag-file ng complaint sa NPC. Pero, is it possible din ba na nakausapin niya yung concerned person? For example, anong pwede niyang sabihin doon sa concerned person para naman, in a way, ma-alarm naman yung concerned person para, in a way, baka pwede niya nang i-delete or something. Ano yung pwede niya sabihin, Doc?
Okay. Halimbawa, tayong dalawa, ako yung individual, ikaw yung kumpanya, ikaw yung nag-violate ng data privacy ko, sa tingin ko, na nag-violate ka, kakausapin, kung ako yung individual, kakausapin mo na kita, pwede mo ba paki-delete, etc., yung ganyan-ganyan, or kung na-expose lang yung data ko, no, pwede kita kausapin. And kapag dinelete mo na siya, definitely, okay na ako, no? Kasi sabihin, hindi na nag-post ng harm sa data ko yun. Pero iba naman ang senaryo, kung nagamit na yung data ko, definitely, I will file a complaint against you for possible breach. Kasi nga, nagamit na for identity theft yung aking personal data, yun. Now, kung kakausapin kita, kung kaya pa nung kaso, yung nangyari sa personal information ko, pwede. Pero kung nagamit na siya, definitely, I will file a case against you kasi na-violate na nga yung privacy rights ko. Yun.
Yeah. Doc, recently, may nakita tayong news or post. Post mo yata yun pero I would not mention the name of the company na nagkaroon ng data breaches, data breach, something like that. What if a company A, for example, nagkaroon ng data breach, minsan baka hindi naman talaga maiiwasan di ba? Ano ang unang gagawin ng BPO ng company A?
Okay. Kung direct answer to that, kung anong gagawin ng kumpanya kung nagkaroon ng data breach, first, kailangan i-determine muna kung ang na-data breach ba ay sensitive personal information. Pangalawa, kung nag-post ng harm doon sa mga individuals. Pangatlo, kung nagamit na siya for any criminal activities. Now, in case na nag-present yung tatlo na yun, the requirement of the law is that it must be the company or the organization must notify the National Privacy Commission that the data breach happens within an organization, and the condition is and notify individually all the individuals, o tinatawag sa batas natin na data subject. Okay? So, ganun yung proseso natin. Pero, ito yung misconception about the data privacy. Pagka na-data breach ang organization ko, lagot na ako kagad sa NPC. Hindi. No, mali yung ganung notion about this data privacy act. Kapag na-data breach ang organization ko, titingnan muna ng National Privacy Commission kung nagkaroon ba ng negligence or gross negligence on the part of the organization. Wala kasing, because the National Privacy Commission believes that there's no 100% foolproof system. Madi-data breach ka dyan. Mahak at mahak ka dyan. Ang tanong lang dyan is, did you comply with the law? Ang tanong lang dyan is, does your organization provided the necessary security controls, security when it comes to the implementation of the security measures? Kasi yung batas natin, pag sinabi natin implementation of security measures, dapat kasama na dyan yung organizational, technical, and physical control. Pag sinabi organizational, nag-appoint ka ba ng DPO, nagkaroon ka ba ng training, etc., etc., chinek ba ng mga lawyers, yung mga kontrata, pagdating sa data sharing agreement, outsourcing agreement, do you provide records, do you have policies, yan. Policies, guidelines to protect the data. That's for the organizational. For the technical, these are IT-related security measures, no? That in protect the data. Halimbawa, meron kang system, pero yung system mo naman ay hindi encrypted. O kaya wala kang backup. O kaya, let's say, for example, you have websites, you have servers, wala kang SSL certificate, wala kang third-party VAPT, Vulnerability Assessment and Penetration Testing. That is for the technical side. And the last, for the physical security measures, okay ba yung positioning mo ng mga computers? May mga biometrics ba? May CCTV cameras ba? Meron ka bang shredder? Etc., etc. So all in all, ang tinitingnan ni NPC dyan, kung nagkaroon ng data breach within an organization, nag-implement ka ba nung security measures, which is the very basic requirement under the Data Privacy Act, which is the organizational, technical, and physical security measures. Ngayon, kung wala yun, definitely gross negligence. Pag gross negligence, enforcement. Pag enforcement, pwede na mag-issue si NPC ng cease and desist order, tinatawag ko kanina ng CDO, na okay, hindi ka na namin kailangang investigahan kasi wala ka naman talaga totally ng compliance under the DPA. Pero kung nagkaroon ng data breach, ang gagawin ni NPC, sabi ko kanina, report it, notify NPC, and notify the individual. Tapos, kukuha ka ng mga dokumento in relation to the compliance of the organization. No, kung wala ka, yun ang problema. Kung meron ka, medyo relax ka ng konti, hindi ka naman i-persecute ni NPC kasi nga nagkaroon ka ng data breach. Titingnan, meron ka ba nung diniscuss kanina na security measures? Sinunod mo ba yung nasa batas? Parang ganito lang yan eh. Ito yung batas, ito yung guidelines, ito yung compliance, gawin mo. Pag ginawa mo yan, naka-data breach ka, more or less, no? I'm not directly saying kasi may investigative part pa si NPC. Kung nag-violate ka talaga sa batas, doon ka palang mapaparusahan. Pero kung hindi naman, lahat naman sinunod mo sa batas, wala tayong magagawa. Talagang may human error, merong mga hackers, merong mga nagpe-penetrate doon sa mga systems mo, ay yun, it's possible na mapawalang visa ka ni NPC kasi nga sinunod mo naman lahat. Pero disclaimer lang, itong lahat ay dumadaan sa proseso ng NPC, no? Yung sinasabi ko, it's about the general treatment of the National Privacy Commission when it comes to data breaches.
Yes, Doc. Okay, Doc, para klaruhin lang natin, di ba? Kasi may mga nagsasabi, I actually, na-experience ko to, no? Di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng contact tracing methodology, no? Until now, na-practice natin yon, no? Nag-start to nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, na contact tracing. And then I asked one security guard, sabi ko, Kuya, what if I would not sign here? I would not fill out this form, or I would not give you my information. Anong pwedeng mangyari, no? Sabi niya, simple lang. Hindi ka papapasukin. Ganun din yung experiences natin sa mga organization, di ba? For example, school form, employees form. Pag hindi ka naman nag-sign doon or hindi ka nag-agree, ganun, hindi ka matatanggap ng trabaho. Hindi ka makakapag-enroll doon sa school. Hindi ka makakapasok doon sa establishment. Parang it's a trade-off. Pero klaruhin lang natin, Doc, di ba? Sa batas na ito, Data Privacy Act of 2012, allowed naman mag-process, no? Mag-collect si organization, di ba? Tama ba, Doc?
Company,
Yung company. Alright. Pero, ang ano dapat pangalagaan ni company yung datos natin or yung data natin, di ba? Na hindi niya dapat binibenta or binibigay sa kani-kanino tao lamang. Tama, Doc, no?
correct.
Alright. So, yun. Kaya lang, recently, Doc, yung observation ko lang, no? Observation lang ng mga estudyante ko din or observation ko din, pag nag-fill out tayo ng sa contact tracing, di ba? Nilalagay na natin because of that. Maybe we trust that company. Pero possible na we can get the information or the data of others. So, now, Doc, paano kaya natin yun i-convert? How can we protect? Pag nag-lista tayo dun sa contact tracing, what are your suggestions for that company to protect our data?
Okay, first, balikan natin yung scenario na nangongolekta sila ng data tapos sinasabi natin na it's possible na hindi tayo makapasok sa isang business establishment kung di tayo nag-provide ng data. Yes, okay yun because legitimate naman yung kanilang collection. Pwede naman tayong hindi magbigay ng data, yung nga lang hindi tayo makakapasok. Pero kung, let's say, kung walang pandemic at nangongolekta sila ng data at we feel, kasi meron tayong tinatawag na right, mga karapatan natin under this Data Privacy Act. We have the right to object, na not to disclose our personal information. Pwede naman yun. Kaya lang, yung objection mo for the adult should be reasonable. Bakit ka nag-o-object sa pagbibigay mo ng data? Kasi ba, is it because you think it's against the data privacy principles of proportionality? Pag sinabi natin proportionality, you get only what is necessary. Okay, pero nakikita ko naman sa ating sistema ngayon because of this pandemic, nangongolekta sila ng data. When they collect personal information, reasonable naman. Kaya sa akin personally, okay lang. Now, ang tanong doon is that yung mga binibigay ba nating data sa kanila ay protected, no, or secured? Now, number one, ako talagang definitely hindi ko nakikita secured yung data because I don't know if you have experienced this, pagpasok mo sa isang restaurant or sa isang mall, pag-fill up mo ng papel, ilalagay lang sa isang box and that box is still exposed to other people na pwedeng mawala, pwedeng mabasa ng guard or pwedeng picturean yung data. So, it poses a lot of potential. Now, ang tanong mo is, ano ba ang dapat nilang ginagawa? Okay, yes. Sa akin, I find this a better solution, no, than collecting personal information through paper. I think na-experience yun na ngayon yung mga nangongolekta ng personal information via QR code, yes. Viber, tapos scan, tapos yun. Isabihin, walang hinahawakang data yung security guard or even the personnel o sa entrance na hahawakang papel. So yung nga lang, ang next level doon is the protection of the personal information through the system. No? Yun ang wala tayong alam kung saan napupunta hanggang kailan nila ini-store. Kasi yes. ang Data Privacy Act, it encompasses all the data processing life cycle, no? Hindi lang doon sa pangongolekta. Kasi pag nangongolekta ng data, meron tayong tinatawag na transparent, legitimate purpose, and proportionality. That means dapat may consent, may privacy notice. Tapos upon collecting our data, dapat alam din natin kung saan siya nakastore. How long will they store it? Saan gagamitin yung data? Kasi actually, ang dami ng complaints ng NPC ngayon na marami nagte-text sa kanila, etc., because of this collection of personal information. And the next process doon, kanino nila sinishare o dinidisclose yung data? Pwede ba nilang ibigay yan kahit kanino? And the last is yung tinatawag na retention and disposal. Paano nag-e-end yung data natin? Paano nila sinishred or kung digital files hanggang kailan nila kinikip yung data natin? So these are the issues na dapat i-address ng mga organizations in collecting this personal information. And yun na nga, from collection up to the disposal, dapat meron itong mga organization na to para hindi sila nag-violate ng Data Privacy Act of 2012. Yun.
Well, tama ba na 30 days lang dapat i-retain ni company yung datos natin? For example, they collected the data today, after 30 days, dapat ano na yun, inaalis na nila sa organization nila. Tama ba yun, Doc?
Okay, yung 30 days na yun, walang basihan yun, no? Wala tayong sinasabi sa batas that all personal information should be kept 30 days. Now, retention, yung sinasabi mong keeping of this personal information, tawag doon ay retention. Retention of this personal information depends on 3 criteria. Number 1 is, ano ba sinasabi sa batas? Meron ako nabasa about this IATF, yung IATF na collection for the contact tracing, whether manual or digital collection, dapat 30 days. But I'm not sure about it, no, kung about this issuance of the IATF kung 30 days. Pero there are some laws na nagsasabi about the retention. For example, kapag pumunta ka sa isang clinic, ang sinasabi sa batas ng retention ng personal information mo will be for a period of maximum period of 5 years. Kung ikaw naman ay na-confine sa isang hospital, maximum period of retention is 10 years. Kung ang personal information mo ay isang medico-legal, yung nature ng data mo, nag-undergo ka ng medico-legal, perpetual yung retention of the personal information. Ngayon, pagpunta mo naman sa financial technology like the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, yung retention of personal information habang pag hindi na ginagamit is maximum of 5 years. Halimbawa, meron kang GCash or even Paymaya na 5 years na hindi mo siya ginagamit, no? Pwede nang i-delete 'yon nila. Pero kung within 5 years ginagamit mo, hindi pa pwedeng i-delete yung personal information. Or let's say for example, speaking of retention, halimbawa, nag-apply ka sa isang company or organization and hindi ka natanggap, di ba? Normally, yung mga HR, tinatago pa yan, perpetual, nakalagay sa cabinet, or even na doon sa email nila, no? Bawal yon, no? Sa akin, kung ako tatanungin with regard to the retention period of this kind of personal information, na nag-apply ka pero hindi ka natanggap, retention period should be a maximum of 3 months lang. Kasi wala ka namang paggagamitan yan eh. Otherwise, kung gusto mo siyang i-retain ng mas matagal sa gusto mo or mas matagal kung ano nasasabi sa batas, you must get consent from the data subject. Or let's say, for example, yung retention ng personal data, you came from a company, private company, retire ka na, nag-resign ka na, or terminated ka, gaano katagal yung data mo sa kanila. Maraming mga issues, no, pagdating doon sa retention of the personal information. Pero yung to answer your question, yung 30 days, walang basihan yun, and wala tayong batas na nagsasabi that the personal information must be retained for 30 days.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information, Doc. Doc, let's go to the main question, no, sa title ng ating live streaming program today. How can we protect data privacy in the digital age? Do we have a privacy standard? For instance, Doc, in YT, in FB, meron ba tayong privacy standard? What are those things that we should not be sharing? What are those things that dapat kinikip lang natin sa sarili natin?
When we say protecting the personal information in the digital age, ito lang ang aking masasabi about this, no? Once you are connected into the internet, no? And yes, let's face it, pag nag-open tayo ng account, we enter our personal data, nawawala na yung privacy natin, no? Let's take for example, Facebook, kung binasa natin yung consent tsaka yung privacy notice ng Facebook, lahat ng ilagay natin sa Facebook ay hindi na natin pagmamay-ari. So, nasa Facebook na yung kung anong gagawin niya. Now, well, of course, Facebook bilang organization also as a company should also follow kung saang batas siya nagkaroon ng Facebook. For example, sa Pilipinas, Facebook must also follow what is written under the Data Privacy Act, and it's still part of the regulatory function of the National Privacy Commission to check, no, on this application like Facebook. How can we protect? Actually, whenever I give lectures about data privacy, sinasabi ko, no, masaswerte yung mga taong wala sa social media kasi walang makikita anything about sa kanila sa internet, no? Tayong mga exposed sa social media, sa lalo na ako, pag sinearch mo lang yung pangalan ko, well, positive, negative, it works both ways, ano? Pag sinearch mo yung pangalan ko sa Google, minsan naalala ko na lang, ay, nag-talk pala ako sa ganito. Hindi ko na mapapaburo yun, no? Nandun na yun sa Google. So, pag sinearch niya yun. Yun nga lang, yung privacy ko, well, sabi ko nga, when you introduce me, ito na yung aking profession as consultant, data privacy advocate in the Philippines. Ang ginagawa ko na lang is that I capitalize on this exposure sa internet. Pero in terms of protection, yun. Pero ikaw ka-Facebook kita, kung makikita mo, wala akong, ang pinapost ko lang naman sa Facebook, dalawang bagay. It's about my family and my data privacy talk and engagement, no? Pero pag family, bihira pa rin. Tapos yung mga trips ko, tapos yung professional organization ko. So sabi nga nila, diba, click, think before you click, no?
Yeah.
So kasi ang may papayo ko lang how to protect our personal information in this digital age. So kung ako lang ay merong power na i-manipulate yung mga tao about using their social media accounts, no? Wag na lang po tayo maglalagay ng mga ibang informasyon like our feelings, yung mga check-in natin. Madalas mga tao kumain lang sa isang restaurant na maayos, mag-check-in na. Ang iniiwasan natin dito, yung tinatawag na profiling, no? Yung profiling. Kaya as much possible, do not give comments or yung mga feelings ninyo. Minsan nakikipag-away kayo sa social media, sa Facebook, sa Instagram. Yun na lang, no? Pero yun kasi, we need to embrace technology, no? Mahirap naman kung walang internet, no, sa panahon ngayon. And lalo na ngayong pandemic, na talagang isipin natin yung mga pinopost natin sa social media or sa internet, no? Pero this is something na inevitable na mangyari, and lahat naman tayo ay almost, actually whenever I give talks, halimbawa 100 people, meron pa rin doon na meron mga walang Facebook account, no?
Yes.
Well, for one reason or another, hindi natin alam kung anong rason nila kung bakit sila walang Facebook account, pero good for them, they're not exposed sa social media, they're not exposed to hacking. Pero like us, IT people, IT, ano tayo, we're into this field of the industry.
Yeah.
Wala tayong magagawa kung hindi embrace yung technology. Embracing the technology, pero just be careful, whatever you post, it's already part of the profiling. Remember, yun, sabi mo nga kanina, may mga courses dyan na I am very glad that I took my certifications with global knowledge, the certified ethical hacking and computing hacking forensic investigator, pati yung CompTIA, computer system administration, no? Marami kang matututunan doon in terms of how this internet works and how to hack this particular system. Kaya nga, ingat lang tayo, no? Kasi hindi lahat pwede natin gawin sa internet, and hindi lahat ng expose natin will be used positively on our side. So that's how we protect the personal information, how to protect ourselves in this digital age. No? Ingat lang. Yan.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. To the audience, yung sa mga audience natin, mga students ko, later on, we will be entertaining 3 questions. No? It's either pwede kayong umakyat, ang term dito sa YT or YouTube, umakyat meaning to say, you can join us here. Or you can type there your questions so that I could be able to read and ask Dr. Lansigan. Okay? So anyway, let's continue, Doc. Doc, for you lang naman ba, do we have an ideal perfect privacy? Meron ba tayong, may tinatawag bang perfect privacy?
Well, sa akin, walang perfect privacy. Number one, once you log into the internet, whether, kung gusto mo ng perfect privacy, huwag kang lumabas ng bahay, or nandun ka lang sa loob, wala pagkapagkakas mo. Kasi once you're exposed to the public, no, kahit wala namang internet nung araw, wala ka ng privacy kasi even pumasok ka sa school, alam ng teacher mo, alam ng eskwelahan mo, yung personal data mo.
Yes.
Yun nga lang, pag sinabi kasi nating privacy, yung ayaw mo may malaman sa'yo yung ibang tao, no?
Yeah.
Pag ayaw mo malaman sa'yo yung ibang tao, that means you're not existing, no? Non-existing yung pagkatao mo dito sa mundo na to. Perfect privacy, Ah, well, wala akong kilalang tao na may perfect privacy, no?
Yeah.
Well, di ko alam. Wala akong alam na tao na may perfect privacy.
Tama
Naisip
po.
ko nga lang, baka yung mga monks ba, yung mga mongha, yung mga pare na nakala perfect privacy ba sila? Maaring hindi kasi alam din naman ng congregation nila their personal data, no?
Yes. Yeah.
So parang walang perfect privacy. First time
Yeah.
ko narinig yan, pero parang wala.
Thank you very much, Doc. Yeah, tama nga. Sabi nga, one author said, sabi niya, in order for you to be secured, okay, there is one thing that you need to do, no? Unplug the network cable. Ganun, no?
Sabi nga
Unplug the
nila pag
network
sinabing
cable.
if I may add, Alan,
Yes,
perfect
Doc.
privacy, may mga international definition ang privacy, the right to be left alone. The right to be left alone. Pag
Yeah.
the right to be left alone, ibig sabihin mag-isa ka lang. Wala kang asawa, wala kang kamag-anak, wala lahat. So, walang perfect privacy because from the definition itself, no, makikita mo yan pwede mong i-google, the right to be left alone, na mag-isa ka lang, walang gano'n. Di ba? Kaya nga tinatawag na no man is an island. Kung gusto mo ng perfect privacy, ipanganak ka sa forest, na ikaw lang ang tao from your birth. Tapos siguro, kung ako tatanungin kung totoong may Tarzan, yun yung perfect privacy. Si Tarzan kasi ang kasama niya lang yung mga hayop, di ba? Simula
Yeah.
pagkabata. Yun yung perfect privacy. So, nakakakilala sa kanya mga hayop which are non-humans, no? So, meron nga siguro perfect privacy kung totoo si Tarzan. Pero hindi naman totoo si Tarzan, it's a fictitious character. Yun yung the right to be left alone.
Okay. Doc, kasi for the past few months, no, nababasa-basa ako about privacy, may mga documents ako nababasa or mga laws, no, based sa ibang bansa din. May ibang bansa parang meron silang laws or siguro mga executive orders na yung right to be forgotten. Are you in favor of that? If this law would be legislated here in the Philippines?
Ang question mo kung pumapayag ako the right to be forgotten?
Yes.
Actually, it is within the context of the Data Privacy Act of 2012.
Okay.
Meron tayong ganon. The right to be forgotten or the right to be deleted.
Okay.
Ang ibig sabihin naman ito, pwede mong ipa-delete yung personal information mo. I'll give you an example. Tsaka limitations. Example, nagtrabaho ka sa isang kumpanya, let's say private organization, at you want to exercise your right to the right to be forgotten, the right to be deleted. Pareho lang yun. Meron tayo sa Pilipinas niya, pwede mong i-request yung ipa-delete yung personal data. Now, ano yung mga consequences nito kapag in-exercise mo yung right naman na to? Number one, if I work, let's say for example, sa kumpanya mo and ako yung data subject, ako individual, I want to exercise my right to be forgotten. Ibig sabihin, pinapadelete ko yung data ko sa'yo at wala na akong maging record, karapatan ko yun, under the Data Privacy Act of 2012, karapatan ko yun. Ibig sabihin, wala na rin akong pwedeng in the future na kukuhanin sa yung certificate of employment, certificate of contribution, etc., etc. Pero in the right to be forgotten has certain limitations. For example, ikaw yung individual, pwede ka ba pumunta sa Philippine Statistics Authority, pa-delete mo yung birth certificate mo o yung birth certificate ng parents mo, or yung pumunta ka sa BIR, papadelete mo yung mga contributions? Definitely hindi, no? May mga limitations yun, pero mostly these are applicable to private organizations. Pwede mong ipa-delete yung personal data mo subject to existing rules and regulations. Halimbawa, pwede ka ba pumunta sa university mo, papadelete mo yung data mo? Hindi. Kasi that's under the CHED Manual of Regulation that they should have a copy of all the records ng lahat ng estudyante pumasok sa kanila. May mga may mga certain limitations. Pero let's say for example, pumunta ka sa hotel.
Yeah.
Wala naman ako nakitang government hotel, puro private hotel. Pag nag-check-in ka sa hotel, pwede mong ipa-delete yung data mo. Wala namang nagsasabing that hotels can retain your personal information. O kaya nag-check-in ka sa kahit na saan, pwede mong ipa-delete, no? So it is the right of the individual na pwede mong exercise ito sa Pilipinas. So kung nabasa mo na pwede bang applicable sa Pilipinas, applicable na siya sa Pilipinas actually.
Okay. Doc, ngayon nauuso yung mga IoTs no? Yung mga Siri na yan, okay, mga Alexa. Medyo, may ano ba tayo dito? May issues or kailangan ba natin mag-worry with regards to our data privacy if we are using these technologies?
Ano technology ngayon?
IoTs. For
Internet
example,
of Things.
mga refrigerators, and then that is connected to the outside, to the network, something like that.
Well, depende naman yan eh. May mga taong masyadong high-tech. Okay lang sa kanila yung Internet of Things. That means okay lang sa kanila that they are being quote-unquote manipulated by the internet or by the system. Naku, pwede. Sa iba, convenience yan. Pwede
Yeah.
mong magamit yun outside. Ako practically since we're IT, with the IT field, no? Sa akin,
Yeah.
okay lang yan, provided that the privacy should be protected at all times, no? Let's say, for example, you want to access your house, even outside, CCTV, etc., etc., pwede rin yan, no? Minsan nga may mga topics pa na related to this Internet of Things, data analytics, or big data. Now, well, depende yun sa implementation niya and depende yun sa compliance or depende kung ano yung nasasabi under the Data Privacy Act. So, okay lang sa akin yung definitely.
Okay, sige. Thank you very much, Doc. So, it's time for us to entertain questions from our audience. Okay, so do you have any questions? For example, Eileen Joy Madrio from JRU. Please ask questions to Dr. Lansigan. Or sino ba? Pwedeng ano. Yan. By the way, thank you very much to my students. The majority of our audience naman are from my students, no? From JRU, JK College, PLP, and AMA CLC. Okay. Anyway, ayun. Fade Downey, walk with Lancy Tarzan. Okay. All right. Ayan. All right, sige, let's ask a question, Doc, from Eileen Joy Madrio. So sabi niya, with that characteristic of independency, or can a business analyst, kasi ang course nito, Doc, ang program nito is business analytics, be appointed as data protection officer or not, since they are also holding data for analyzation?
Sa akin, it is not advisable na maging data protection officer basta tumahawak ng data. Well, wala naman sinasabi na bawal, pero yun na nga, the potential risk, no, of having data privacy breach and probably, no, non-disclosure of data breach, masyadong mataas. Kasi kung nangyari sa kanya yung data breach, sino ba ang magre-report na na-data breach ako? Kasi ako rin yung DPO, sa akin din yung data, ako din ang magre-report. Who would ever do that? No, bihira. So, conflict of interest on that one.
Yeah, so ang magiging problema is conflict of interest. Okay, for the information of our audience, no, kasi pag kunwari nakuha yung natin, yung information natin, pwede kasi ibenta to, di ba, Doc? Actually, may mga nakikita ako ng mga $1, $2, na pwede nating bilihin, no? For example, we can get the email address, the name, the phone number of that individual, and then we could be able to buy that, no? $1 to $2. Okay, so yun dapat ang ingatan natin, no? Para for the information of everybody. Okay, Doc, sige, meron pa bang questions to our audience? Yan, sige. Scroll lang ako, Doc, para sandali lang. Okay. Sige. Alright, anyway, Doc, na tayo? Last 15 minutes, no? I just want to thank you again, Doc. Hopefully hindi ito yung hindi ito yung last.
Yeah.
Alright. Sige. Doc, for the last 15 minutes, let's have this fast talk. Okay? I would just mention I would just mention 2 words. Okay? Mamimili ka lang doon and then you explain. Or you
May
tell
explanation ba yan? May explanation, wala. Walang explanation.
Meron din. If it's up to you kung gusto mo explain or something.
Okay. Nakaka-excite ka, nakaka-surprise.
Sige, Doc. Alright. Government or private industry?
Private.
Why, Doc? Sige.
Na-experience ko ang government for 2 years. It's not that easy. Pero malaki utang na loob ko sa government kasi ito na yung career ko. Kasi I spent most of my professional career sa private. Kaya it's private. Maybe because the length of time. Pero given a chance, pwede rin naman akong mag-government pa rin. Pero ngayon nasa private ako. It's private.
Alright. Pero Doc, ibig bang sabihin nito mas magaling mag-alaga ng datos ang private industry in comparison to the government?
Hindi. Actually, incomparable sila, no? Kasi kung makikita natin yung data, merong mga government agencies na nagkakaroon ng data breach. Marami din sa private organization. When it comes to handling of data, hindi ko ma-compare sila kung sino mas magaling between the two organizations, private ba or government.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. Eto, Doc, Trump or Biden?
Biden, reason, para maiba lang. And, may enda, Biden is Catholic.
Yeah. Sa Catholic siya. No, pero mas I mean, hindi siya madalas mag-tweet or baka may na-violate na data privacy principle si Trump, no?
Yeah, pero hindi naman ako personally affected. I don't know kung may direct or indirect effect sa akin ang US presidential election. And yun nga lang, dalawa lang para maiba lang yung presidente at the same time Catholic kasi Catholic country tayo, Katoliko din ako. Mas maganda siguro kung magiging Katoliko rin ang pangalawa pa lang siya, I think, na Catholic President ng United States of America. Kaya lang, medyo matanda na siya. He's 77 years old. Pero, yun na nga. Maliit lang naman yung difference para sa akin. That's why I choose Biden. Pero, non-political person naman ako. Kaya, parang yung question ay hindi nagmamatter sa akin.
Okay. Sige. Thank you, Doc. How about QR code, logbook?
QR code, syempre. QR code kasi protected yung personal data mo at hindi mo nakikita kung sino yun, no? Pero yung logbook kasi definitely. Actually, ang logbook, kung ako tatanungin, sa Singapore, regulated ang logbook. Sa Pilipinas, hindi pa regulated ang logbook. Kasi ang logbook, mataas yung vulnerabilities of data breach. Kasi di ba, pagpasok mo using logbook, nakikita mo na yung kung sino yung mga pumasok. Or even, pag nakatalikod lang yung card, pwede mong picturean, no? Pero yung QR code, pag QR code mo, hindi mo alam kung sino yung pumasok na una-una sa'yo at hindi mo nakikita kung sino yung mga pumasok doon using QR code.
Yes. Let me just share this to you, Doc, and the audience. Sa Pasig, meron silang Pasig Pass. Okay, may QR code. When you enter a government facility, for instance, the City Hall, Pasig Pass.
Okay.
Yung parang may QR code. So, si Mayor, naiintindihan niya, no? So, ang nakakita lang daw ng data, 3 yatang personnel, no? Pero yung personnel na yung mataas pa yon, government personnel, medyo mataas. So, ibig sabihin, tatlong individuals lang ang nakakita ng data. In comparison, pag nagla-logbook, there is possibility na maraming makakita ng datos. Okay. Sige, Doc. Doc, sige, last. Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook. Una-una, wala akong Twitter. Hindi ko alam kung may Twitter ako o Instagram, pero hindi ako gumagamit ng ibang social media account except Facebook. Number one, mahirap i-maintain kung madami. I just check my Facebook. And also, yung Facebook ko, and recently nag-create ako ng FB page, and I think it's about time to create my FB page. It's Dr. Rolando R. Lansigan, Management and Data Privacy Consultancy. Ma-Facebook ako, pero I mean, in terms of other social media accounts, wala na ako, no? So kung may makikita kayo, number one, hindi sa akin yon, or kung may Rolando Lansigan, baka may gumawa lang doon, no? And thank God, wala namang iba pang nag-hack ng Facebook account ko. Yun.
Okay. Sige, Doc, isang pahabol na question. How hard po ang responsibility ng isang DPO? Can you give a day-to-day agenda of DPO? Siguro to yung mga tasks and responsibilities niya in a day.
Ano ulit yung question? Sorry.
May hirap po ba ang how hard po ang responsibility ng isang DPO? Can you give a day-to-day agenda of DPO?
Yung data protection officer, I could not say na mahirap. I could not say also na madali, no? Minsan it depends upon the maturity of the person being appointed to the protection of a data protection officer. At in day-to-day activities, well, number one lang talaga ang number one na function ng data protection officer is to administer compliance. Pag sinabing administer compliance, pag binasa na yung Data Privacy Act, as well as the other compliances, number one is to protect the personal data that the organization collects. Yun.
Okay, sige. So, thank you very much, Doc. Dito na tayo nag-i-end. Pero bago tayo mag-end, let me iaalaw natin si Doc Lansigan to say goodbye or kung anong gusto niyang sabihin sa inyo or i-promote. Sige, Doc, you have a couple of minutes.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, no, kung may nakukinig na mga kumpanya, may may-ari ng kumpanya, may position sa kumpanya, as well as the individuals listening or watching this YouTube channel of Walk with Lan, no, I think this is a very good channel na wherein there's a variety of topics. Well, for this topic being presented to you, well, for this one, it's about data privacy for this episode. And ang iiwan ko lang sa inyo, I hope na tumatak sa inyo, no? In data privacy, meron tayong tinatawag na golden rule, no? Ano itong golden rule on data privacy? Ang golden rule sa data privacy is that do not collect if you cannot protect. No, wag tayong mangolekta ng data kung hindi natin kayang protektahan. Kahit tayo ay individual, organization, or kahit na sino nangongolekta ng data, please do not collect if you cannot protect. Now, we live in a society of a digital age wherein lahat open na dito sa ating society, sa ating internet. Ang the best lang is that protektahan natin yung data na kinokolektahan natin. Embrace the technology, but at the same time, protect the fundamental human rights to privacy of all the individuals from whom we collect the personal information. So, golden rule for this session and for all of you who are watching right now, do not collect if you cannot protect. Yun lang. Thank you very much and good evening.
All right. Thank you very much again, Dr. Rolly, Dr. Lansigan, for this opportunity to interview you. Actually, we learned a lot, no? And I hope and pray that this will not be the last. Okay. Anyway, guys, next month, December 12th, our topic will be franchising. No? So we will be inviting one business leader. Actually, ano siya, medyo mataas na tao din. And December 12th, 7:30 p.m. So with that, thank you very much, Doc. And stay safe, please. Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Good evening. Good evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you to all my students.